Welcome to this week's episode of The Top Step. Was that series down in Houston the most important regular season series in Mariners history? Plus, pitch tipping, it's a huge part of the game, but is it good for the game? Adam Jude from the Seattle Times joins me to discuss that and makes his case for Cal Raleigh as MVP. Let's get into it. Welcome to The Top Step, presented by Warrior Injury Law. Injured, call attorney Rob Edens at 253-WARRIOR. Battle tested. How's it going, mates? It's Rowland-Smith. Welcome back to The Top Step. What an exciting time. And the best time, really, to be a Mariners fan. They are finally in the driver's seat. It's been a while this time of year as we head into this playoff run. We have a lot to get into. We break down the series in Houston. Adam Jude joins me from the Seattle Times. But before we get stuck into all of it, if you're new to the show, welcome. Took you long enough. We have all your favorite Mariners, past and present. They join me every single week. All the laughs, all the breakdowns, all the stories. Click subscribe at YouTube at the Top Step TV. You can go listen to some epic conversations like Bryce Miller last week, Andres Munoz, how he throws gas, and all your favorite players. You can also listen on the go wherever you get your podcast. Just type in The Top Step with Rowland-Smith or follow us on social at The Top Step TV. Okay, so that series in Houston was epic. And when we look back, it might be the most important series in Mariners history and a formula to get you to the World Series for the first time ever. Let's break it down on this week's edition of Eyes on the M's, brought to you by King LASIK. Hey mates, if you're ready for freedom from hassling with glasses and contacts, do what I did. Go to King LASIK. It was the best decision I ever made for my eyes. The procedure was easy. It was over in under 15 minutes. Start with a free Zoom consult at kinglasik.com. Okay, so let's rewind and go back to the weekend in Houston, because if the Mariners make the deepest run in franchise history, and if there's a parade in November, we're going to look back at that series as the moment everything changed. You came in tied with the Astros after clawing back into the race, winning 10 of 11 at that time, just to pull even with the Houston Astros. They were coming off a sweep of the Rangers, a team right in the thick of it in the playoff chase. The stakes couldn't have been higher. And what did the Mariners do? They went into Houston, into Dyken Park, or AKA Minute Maid, Juice Box, a house of horrors for this franchise for the better part of a decade. And they swept. They didn't just win the series, they swept. They grabbed the tiebreaker, and they really, honestly, flipped the balance of power in the AL West. Remember, Houston's won the division. The AL West, they've won the division 7 of the last 8 years. They only missed the shortened season of 2020. And in the last decade, only the Angels have fared worse head-to-head against the Astros than Seattle. To get where you want to get to, you have to beat Houston. And in that first game, as they headed into that series, you're up against Hunter Brown, their ace, the Cy Young candidate. He's going to get Cy Young votes. And you sweep him, and all of a sudden, when you do, he leaves the game down 2-0. And I'm telling you, that's a statement, especially Julio's home run in the first inning. We'll get to that in just a minute. So how'd they do it? The recipe, in my opinion, this series is going to pass over to the month of October. So first of all, let's talk about the starting pitching. Wu, Kirby, and Logan Gilbert. 3 games, 1 earned run allowed. Are you kidding me? That's it, 1 earned run. Brian Wu, look, he just keeps leveling up. And by the way, I did a breakdown on who should be game 1, 2, and 3 in the wild card series. What was that last week? Go listen to it. I may have changed my opinion after watching him, because he just keeps leveling up. Game 1 was maybe the best of his career. I know it was shortened because of the Peck issue, but what a game, right? For so many different reasons, and how he leveled up for his team. George Kirby, he's coming into that second game with an ERA north of 8 in the month of September, and then he shoves absolute dominance. And with the fastball too, that Astros team was a good fastball hitting team. Team needed him most, and then Logan Gilbert, of course, game 3 nails. This wasn't just keeping you in the game. This was October caliber dominance pitching. Okay, number 2, score early. During that ugly slide in late August, the Mariners averaged barely half a run in the first 3 innings any of their games, especially that second last road trip. In Houston, they flipped the script, 3.7 runs per game in the first 3 innings. Julio's first inning home run in game 1 was epic. I don't know how he got to that pitch. It was massive. It set the tone for the entire series. It really did. Okay, speaking of home runs, this is number 3, the long ball. You want to win in October, you've got to hit bombs. The Mariners score about 50% of their runs via the home run. That's highest in baseball. In Houston, they hit 7. And of them, including Cal Raleigh's home run breaker. Big moment, loud swing. By the way, the home run tracker will get into that as well. That's playoff baseball, man. Hit long balls and do this, which is number 4, the bullpen. Lock it down. Bizzardo on his 3rd straight day of work after going 2 innings the night before. Coming up huge. Gabe Spire, bases loaded. Christian Walker at the plate goes straight after him with 3 straight heaters. Unreal, right? Unreal. Outside of the 1 grand slam from Pena, when they got close, this pen allowed just 2 runs the entire series. Unreal. Okay, now number 5. This is a fun one. The defense. Okay, all right. So there's a couple missteps here. I think game 2 it was, but come on, Victor Robles. We've been waiting months to see him in action. The catch to end game 2, right? To lock down that series, get the tiebreaker. Game 2. I know they swept. Highlight of the season. Did it make up for the missed time? Maybe, but it absolutely sealed that win and sealed the series. Now, why does this matter? It wasn't just a nice road series. This was Seattle This was Seattle proving to themselves, to the division, to the league, that they can go into Houston against a battle-tested, playoff-hardened team and not just hang, not just do their thing, but absolutely dominate. If the Mariners do what we think they can do, if this season ends with history, with a pennant, with a parade, this will be the series we all point to. The weekend the Mariners showed their October recipe. Elite starting pitching, early offense, power at the plate, and that lockdown bullpen. The game-changing defense. Thank you, Victor, for adding that one. That's the formula. That's the blueprint. I'm telling you, this is what's going to get him that long run into the playoffs. All right, that was Eyes on the M's, brought to you by King Lasik. Joining me next, it's from Seattle Times. It is Adam Jude to dive into Cal Raleigh MVP. We're going to talk about pitch tipping, a whole lot more. Got the Cal Raleigh home run tracker. Stick around. Keep it right here on the Top Step.
Wellness. How do you practice it easily every day? At Olympic Hot Tub, we have more ways to achieve total wellness at home than ever before. Immerse yourself and let jets melt stress away in a saltwater hot spring spa. Swim in the privacy of your own backyard in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to cozy warmth and detox in an amazing Tilo sauna. Then awaken your mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Better you, better life.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Ann, who broke her leg in a trip and fall accident.
I had broken my femur and I was in horrific pain. We chose Warrior because they had a good reputation. I wasn't just a name, I was a person, and that makes a big difference. I'm just grateful that we had the settlement for my care. I'm very pleased.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
See life better with perfect, clear, natural vision from King LASIK.
Being a former professional athlete, I still love staying active. From paddleboarding, snowboarding, even playing with the kids, everything was such a hassle dealing with glasses and contacts. I'm so grateful to Dr. King and King LASIK. It's amazing how much better I see life.
I'm Dr. Joseph King. Let's free your eyes from the hassle of glasses and dirty contacts.
Schedule your free consult at kinglasik.com. King LASIK. See life better.
Welcome back to the Top Step. It's time for the Cal Raleigh Home Run Tracker, brought to you by Bob Oates Plumbing and Sewer. Big Dumper approved. Bob Oates is here for you. So selfishly, I was kind of hoping to see number 57, the record-breaking home run from Cal Raleigh, who he beat Ken Griffey Jr. Of course, he's, by the way, got a statue outside of T-Mobile Park. I was kind of hoping he was going to do this at T-Mobile in front of a packed house with everything else going on, clinching playoffs and everything else. I would have loved to have seen that. But, man, I'll tell you what an absolute bomb to right center field. We're in the booth. Jay Buhner even said, look, that's the deepest part, obviously center field at Daikin, but then go out to right center field. That's one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. And by the way, you realize, Cal, that was the first opposite field bomb he's hit from the right side of the plate, which is insane when you've already hit 58 home runs, 20 plus as a righty. And, not to mention, too, that's 150, making him one of the 17th fastest in history to get to 150. It took him 616 games. Only 17 players have gotten to 150 that quick. All right, that was a Cal Raleigh home run tracker brought to you by Bob Oates Plumbing and Sewer. Big Dumper approved. Bob Oates is here for you. Before we say hello to Adam, speaking of Cal, we have had a chance to sample his new beer, the Big Dumper beer we've been talking about the last couple of sessions here on the Top Step. It's a lager, one of my favorite, and it's good. Collaboration between Scuttlebutt Brewing and Cal Raleigh himself, available at Scuttlebutt locations and retailers near you. All right, welcome back to the show, Adam Jude from the Seattle Times. Man, it's been a while since you've been on the show.
It's been a bit. Thanks for having me, Hyphen. I appreciate it.
By the way, there's been a couple times we've tried to get together and have you on for some, but no better time than now, honestly. And I said this before you came on. I made the claim that series in Houston, that 3-game series, may be, if not the most crucial, biggest regular season series in Mariners history. What's your take on that?
It's right up there, absolutely. Certainly for this generation of Mariner fans, it's the biggest you've seen, certainly since 2001, I would say. I think it'd be tough to beat the 95, the push at the end of the season to catch the Angels, not only get to the playoffs for the Mariners at the time for the very first time in franchise history, but to save baseball in Seattle and get the new ballpark built. They had a couple of series there that were just enormous, but certainly this one in Houston, coming off that, just all that it means not only for this team at this time, but what it could mean in the future as well. It feels like this is a real changing of the guard. The Houston Astros have had their basically decade of dominance in the AL West. The Mariners, with the core that they've built, with how young they are, with the farm system they have, it feels like they're on their trajectory to take over the AOS, not only for this year, but maybe for the next several.
Yeah, I mean, the Houston Astros... Now, look, I get it, man. You mentioned 95. There's a whole documentary about that team. So I know it's a fairly large claim to take over that. But I'm talking about... You made a good point, man. The Houston Astros, in the last 8 years, have won the division. Not just gotten to the playoffs, but won the division 7 of the 8. And the only time was in 2020, and I'm not taking anything away from the A's winning in 2020, 60-game season. But they have been. All roads lead through Houston. If you want to get to the playoffs, if you're in the West, and not to mention the fact that winning the West. So that to me, man, and I'm watching that series, going into it. You're going back to it, right? You win that game in Kansas City, and then you got Hunter Brown game 1. Julio gets that first inning home run. I'm looking at this, thinking to myself, all right, they win via the long ball. Starting pitching was good. Bullpen was rock solid outside of the home run. Was that, and this is why I think it's crucial, is that the recipe for this team and for any team? Win with home runs, have a really solid bullpen to get deep into the playoffs.
100%, and we were talking about this beforehand as well, but that's part of the reason why I think the Mariners are confident, and Mariner fans should be confident that this team is maybe better equipped than any team in the American League to make a deep run in October and maybe finally get to the World Series this year. Maybe getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but I think that's where they're at, and I think more importantly, that's where the Mariners inside that clubhouse believe that they're at. They're capable of anything right now, and you make a great point. Like, you get 5, even 6 innings, obviously, solid pitching, which they're fully capable of from this rotation. You turn it over to that bullpen, and I think there's a case to be made of the teams from the American League going into the playoffs. The Mariners have as good a bullpen as anyone, maybe the best in the league. Andres Munoz, what he's done this year, I think he's the best closer in the American League. Matt Brash, Gabe Spire, Edward Bazardo hasn't gotten enough headlines this year, but that guy has been rock solid. Those 4 right there, they've got obviously other guys they trust too, but you're going to lean heavily on those guys, and I think they're ready for it, and I think this is their time. I really do, Ryan.
How we going, mates? It's Ryan Rowland-Smith. You know Olympic Hot Tub's a big part of this show, but I am so proud to partner with Olympic Hot Tub this year on their Cold Plunge Challenge. Over 128 people completed the challenge, helping raise $29,850 for charity water. This brings their lifetime impact to over $110,000. Charity Water works primarily in Southeast Asia and Africa, where $40 brings clean water to one person. The Cold Plunge Challenge was able to provide clean water for 746 people. Amazing job, Olympic. Thanks for all you do, and of course, proud to have you part of the top set. Hey, you know what? We're talking pitching, and one thing that we talked about in Houston, matter of fact, I said, "Oh man, you got to come on. This is a conversation. This is a huge topic, which I think is only going to grow. It's the first of all ability to pick up when a pitcher is tipping their pitches, which is, I don't know if you want to call it science, or there's some of these gurus out there, and the Mariners have a system in place like all 30 teams do. But on the pitching side, man, I couldn't imagine pitching in 2025. I would tip everything. I went back, matter of fact, this is going to sound ridiculous, but I went back and watched myself pitch a couple of these clips. Dude, I'm telling you, my elbow, my hand, I'm throwing a curveball right here. I can see it. It's on another level now. Tell me, and you've done your research, tell me, how is this impacting the game?
Well, that's one of the reasons I want to talk to you as a former pitcher. Like, how much did you have to think about this while you're on the mound, and especially when there's a guy at second, but just in general too, because talking to the Mariners pitchers this year, they've had to focus on this. They had to think about it more than ever. It's become so commonplace, so accepted around the sport now. You just have to be on top of it if you're a major league pitcher. Andres Munoz, the biggest example this year for the Mariners. Munoz blew a save at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees were doing jumping jacks, standing on second base. They were doing whatever they had to do to signal the batter. And it just was so obvious. And Munoz took responsibility for that. He said, that's on me. I got to do better. If it's that obvious that I'm holding the slider grip to the guy at second base, that's on me to hold it closer or do something different. Munoz has gone to a bigger glove this year. He's covered up the webbing in his glove, some of the basic things, but he's also doing a better job of angling his grip so it's not as so obvious to the runner at second base. But even beyond that, to your point, there's systems in place for the hitters, and they're all sharing that information as they should. If they're picking up something, that's fair game. That's been accepted in baseball since the dawn of time. But it has become so much more accepted, I feel like, this year more than any other year. The technology is a big part of that. You can slow down the film and break it down going into a series. But I think also hitters are just more sophisticated about knowing what to look for. And again, with Mariners pitchers in particular, you got Logan George Kirby, Bryce Miller with those splitters, and they got to preset those grips. And so it's even more imperative for them to be a little more subtle and exact in when they're changing it to a fastball grip or to a slider grip, and just repeating that setup, that placement. All of it plays into it every single time. And then there's the cat and mouse game, the game within the game, because Logan told me, he's like, if I know that they have a tell on me, I might just do it and then throw the exact opposite pitch, throw a fastball when they've signaled to the guy that I'm throwing a splitter. So there's that back and forth where the pitchers can get the upper hand if they know the other team has a tell. And at the end of the day, too, if a pitcher with as good a stuff as these Mariners pitchers have, if they execute a pitch, even if the hitter knows it's coming, they can still win that pitch. That's happened before, too. Like Logan will say, they knew a splitter was coming, they still swung and missed. And so it's imperative for the pitchers more than ever. To your point, I think it's hilarious you went back and looked at yourself. But, what are they? They need to know themselves. They have to go. They're doing that more than ever now, too, going back and like, oh, geez, I am holding it an inch lower when I'm about to throw a slider here. We got to clean that up. And so, again, it's just one other thing pitchers in today's game are having to think about, having to worry about. It's a bit of an annoyance for them, I know. But at the end of the day, they got to clean it up and they got to get it right.
And you mentioned, guys doing cartwheels out at second base, jumping around, doing jumping jacks, carrying on. Everyone says, well, why don't there should be a price to pay. You should drill the next guy. The hard thing there is, and I've talked to a bunch of pitchers about this, the hard thing with that is because it's just so every single pitch common, it's not, oh, hey, I got something now. Or I didn't have it last 50 appearances I saw this dude. It's you're in the ninth inning. You're not trying to add base runners, and they're just going to keep doing jumping jacks. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt to get drilled. Trust me. Like I'm sure it does. I've never been drilled. But that's just the game now. It's just so accepted, right?
Yeah, 100%. And, it did make me think about, Logan Gilbert made a comment. It's like 30 years ago, do these guys have to worry about this type of stuff in the same way? And I was thinking, like, I can't imagine a hitter or a runner at second base trying to tip a pitch that they see something on Randy Johnson or Pedro Martinez. How would they have reacted? They might have killed somebody. And I thought that was fascinating, and so there are no repercussions in today's game, in part because, as you said at the very top, all 30 teams are doing it. The Mariners hitters have a system, and they should, because it is such an accepted part of the game. This is different than, again, it goes way back. This is Bobby Thompson in the 1951, shot heard around the world. There were accusations that, there was a lighting system, tipping pitches then. And, this is different than the Houston Astros and the trash can banging scandal too, because this is just what teams are picking up in the moment. And again, if pitchers are making it obvious, it's fair game. It's just like poker, right? If you have a quirk or something and you're at the table and the guy across from you picks it up, that's fair game. That's all part of it. And so, the pitchers, they've had to learn to be better about it, and it does feel like that's why I started talking to more guys about it, because they have had to think about it more than ever. And I think that's hilarious that was Munoz's first comment, because it's been in his head. It has been in his head, and so it says even more about his ability to go out there and still blow it by guys, because he's also had to think about, okay, I'm here. Am I doing the exact same spot every time? And as we enter the postseason, I do feel like that's one of those things. If you're looking for the margins and those slight edges,
100%.
That's one of those things that could decide not only a game but a series here in October.
All right, now Cal Raleigh. This is the debate nationwide. The guy, we know about the season. Catchers around the league, players around the league are saying, this will not be ever topped for a catcher, what he's doing. And you've got Aaron Judge over in New York, who is, when you're talking about some of the OPS, slug, so on and so forth, average, it does outweigh in regards to some of those metrics. What do you got for this Cal Raleigh debate? I know you wrote an article about it. Talk to me. What's your claim here?
There's a lot there, and I think this has a chance to be the closest MVP race in our lifetime that we've seen. It's really down to the wire. If there are people in New York or anywhere pounding the table for Aaron Judge that he should win the AL MVP, look at his case. I don't think you can really argue against that. And the same thing with Cal Raleigh. If you're pounding the table saying, he's doing things no catcher, no switch hitter's ever done before, it's hard to argue against that as well. I would say the one thing that Cal Raleigh has in his favor, two things really. By the way, he hits in the most difficult hitters park in baseball in Seattle and still putting up these numbers. Obviously, his home road splits, as with all the Mariners hitters this year, are pretty dramatic. But to do what he's done and catch 120 games, be in the lineup virtually every day, 155 games plus I think he'll end up with by the end of the season here. To stay that durable, that healthy, and to mean as much as he does to this pitching staff. Again, we just haven't seen someone like this since really Buster Posey, who was so valuable for those Giants teams that won 3 World Series, also coming out of Florida State like Cal. But to put up what he's done, he's chasing 60 home runs now. To your point, we're never going to see a catcher do these sorts of things. I don't think we really will. I think that's fact. It's so hard to imagine a catcher catching this much. He leads the American League in innings caught. And again, for him to be also the heartbeat of this team, he's so calm, so steady, and yet he's a guy who will go up to a teammate and tell, hey, we got to be better. We're going to do this right. I can't imagine any player, and this is a little bit of hyperbole, but it's hard to imagine any single player in baseball history doing more and meaning more for his team than what Cal Raleigh has done for the Mariners in 2025. And you could probably drop the mic there if you're someone who's pounding the table for Cal Raleigh here.
See life better with perfect, clear, natural vision from King LASIK.
Being a former professional athlete, I still love staying active. From paddleboarding, snowboarding, even playing with the kids, everything was such a hassle dealing with glasses and contacts. I'm so grateful to Dr. King and King LASIK. It's amazing how much better I see life.
I'm Dr. Joseph King. Let's free your eyes from the hassle of glasses and dirty contacts.
Schedule your free consult at kinglasik.com. King LASIK. See life better.
What do you do when your drain's full of goo? Your toilet won't flush and you need to go poo. Leaking leaky pipes flooding. Yikes, don't be blue. Bob Oates is here for you.
Hey guys, Cal Raleigh here. Don't let your plumbing turn into a comedy of errors. Next time, call Bob Oates, Seattle's trusted plumber.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Ed, who suffered a neck injury in a highway pileup.
Had a bulged disc in my neck. It was pinching my spinal cord, so reached out to Rob. It was amazing. Their whole team were honest and kept me informed, like they were actually interested in helping me, not just a number. I'm very pleased with the outcome. I would definitely choose these guys any time of the week.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Wellness. How do you practice it easily every day? At Olympic Hot Tub, we have more ways to achieve total wellness at home than ever before. Immerse yourself and let jets melt stress away in a saltwater hot spring spa. Swim in the privacy of your own backyard in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to cozy warmth and detox in an amazing Tilo sauna. Then awaken your mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Better you, better life.
Welcome back to The Top Step. This segment is brought to you by Core Contractors. We just got all the details down for our major remodel. Levi and his team seriously take all the stress out. So excited to share the progress photos of the Hyphens house getting a huge facelift. I can't wait to share it all with you. Core Contractors, the center of remodeling and restoration. Real quick, I nearly forgot about this. We're going to do the How to Speak Australian brought to you by the Kangaroo and Kiwi. Before I let you go, you've done this before.
I have.
I'm going to give you a something, and you have to tell me. I'm going to give you a multiple choice, matter of fact. Okay. In Australia, for the MVP for a certain sport, it's called the Dally M medal. The Dally M medal. Is it for, are you ready for this? Is it for Aussie Rules football? Is it for the National Rugby League? Or is it for the Big Bash cricket, which is kind of like the cricket, like MLB? Call it that.
Oh, man.
Not really, but it is. Australians don't get mad at me for saying that. But yeah, what do you got?
I love the idea of Big Bash cricket. Big Bash. Let's go with that one, just because I love the name.
Adam, no, matter of fact, it's for the National Rugby League, the Dally M medal, right? Very prestigious. I don't know if Cal could ever win a Dally M medal. I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it. Send him down there. He retires from baseball. Second life, a second career in Australia. That'd be a story.
There you go. Hey, you know what? I mean, the dude's a friggin' platinum gold glove winner. He could be, when we're filming this, he could be breaking the American League record in home runs for all we know. And then going to the World Series and then home run derby champ and the rest of it. Listen, that was, by the way, that was How to Speak Australian brought to you by the Kangaroo and Kiwi. Go to at the Top Step TV to follow the Mariners and see if you, follow us, and see if you know the answer to the How to Speak Australian. Adam, this has been a blast, man. I am going to continue this throughout the playoffs. You've got to come back and join me, talk about this team.
Love it. Thanks for having me, Ryan. This was a blast.
All right, that's all we've got time for this week. Special thanks to Adam Jude. By the way, I know the regular season's finishing. That's usually when the Top Step finishes. Not this case. We're going to be with you as October rolls on, these playoffs roll on Root Sports, or go to at the Top Step TV. Make sure you subscribe. We've got so much to get to. Have a great playoff run. We'll see you now at T-Mobile, and we'll see you right here next week on the Top Step.